Welcome to the buy list. This is episode 27.
This is not financial advice. This is cardboard. Hey-ya, hey-ya. Not even close.
No. What's up,
Nope.
Nate? We're off schedule a bit due to the holidays, but that's okay. 4th of July was nice. Had a couple days off. How about yourself?
Yeah, just a holiday with the fam. So excited, super excited for pre-release this weekend. I don't know when this is going to go live, so it literally might be pre-release for some people.
Hmm.
Just really excited to draft some Monarch, get some of those old light and shadow cards back in my hands before we start cracking packs.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, same here. It's pre-release. I think I'll be able to get out to one, maybe two, so that'll be fun. Drafting Monarch will be nice since it'll be Nats practice. Um, yeah, definitely need some practice on Monarch Draft. That still haven't quite cracked the code. Do not feel comfortable yet in that format at all.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting format from what we've been coming from with Outsiders and Uprising. Um, I think it's I think people think you can be more open than you can when really you can't. I think the generics are kind of bad, but we don't have to dive into
Yeah,
that too much.
yeah,
Because we're talking about Dusk Till Dawn today.
yeah. So we thought we'd look. So we thought we'd take a look at. Let's start. Let's kind of in our live stream we kind of went through them. Actually, in the live stream we didn't have Crown of Providence. Yet. So that's kind of a new addition to this, but we wanted to just take a look at the 8 legendaries, kind of walk through them, see where we're at. I guess the theme of this episode will be, where do we see I don't think we're going to be predicting prices, but just kind of like where do we see the money slots being release plus 30, right? 30 days or so, and kind of just where it balances out. I think, a month out, month and a half out, that's when things will balance a little bit. So we have these 4 legendaries, Crown of Providence, oldie but a goodie, right? That was announced after somehow it got out. I don't know how, but it's going to be reprinted in non-foil, which I think overall, to start on this card, I think is a good thing for the game. Crown, pretty much since maybe a month or two after it was released, everyone kind of caught on that it was pretty good and kind of
Yep.
just said no to CNC, which, most decks want. So this card's been very expensive, pushing 250, I think, rainbow foil, sometimes cold foils into the 300, 350 range. But we're already starting to see Crown drop a little bit on TCG Player.
Yeah, we did not have this information when we recorded last, and we got some more information too about pull rates and things like that, which we'll go over in a minute. But Crown of Providence definitely needed the reprint. I think you can't
Mm,
have basically 2 staple cards for a lot of decks be over $200. I don't think that's like it's definitely deflating for newer players getting into the game.
yeah.
Um, and like you said, like as of this recording, I think we were as low as like 190 on TCG Player. And it was 220 before like over the weekend. So it's already dropped $30. I
Yeah.
would It'll be interesting. I know when Skullcap got reprinted and it was still the best card in slot. It was I want to say
Hmm.
the non-foil was about 90 to like 110, 120 on release, and then kind of like floated into like the 80s.
Yeah.
Um, and then Crowd of Providence came out, and basically no one wanted Skullcap anymore.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was the Andy's toy meme.
Yeah. AK.
So
Yeah. Why we did our last episode, right?
yeah,
What could be skull capped?
yep, exactly. There's a card that we'll talk about a little bit later too that I think is why we talked about Skullcap, or why we talked about Crown of Providence in that episode. Um, as they print more and more headpieces, it's going to become a card that is not the auto slot in for a lot of decks, right? So
Hmm.
um it's definitely interesting. And I think the fact that there is 8 legendaries in this set, the pull rates are significantly reduced for legendaries. It's the lowest they've been. It's 1 in 64 packs, which is like
Mm-hmm.
2.5 boxes. Um, so, but because there's 8 legendaries, it's going to take about 5 cases to get a playset, which is
Mm-hmm.
historically on average for Flesh and Blood.
Yeah.
Um, the last that it was higher was Monarch, but Tails, Dynasty, Uprising, all kind of at 5 cases for a legendary playset was where they hit. And we've talked about it before on here. Outsiders definitely broke that mold. It was actually only 6 or 3.6 cases to get a full playset of legendaries.
Yeah.
And we are seeing legendary prices suffer dramatically in Outsiders because of it. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I think Outsiders, I haven't dived into all of them, right? But again, the cold foil, rainbow foil split on Fab 2.0 is, still showing, still good for the game, right, Nate? You see, like you said, the rainbow foil prices are very affordable from Outsiders. The
yeah.
cold foils not so much because they're a little bit more blingy. They're collector's items. They're actually quite hard to pull. I think we mentioned that a couple times on this series for sure. Is that don't be sleeping on those cold foils, and I think that will continue here as well. But it is interesting to see that they've kind of gone back to that 5 case. So legendaries might not be flowing as readily as they were in Outsiders.
Yeah. You'll see a lot of legendaries, but it's because there's so many, it's definitely hard to get like your
Yeah,
full play
yeah,
sets.
yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
Yeah, so overall Crown of Providence, that's a good one there. That's gonna hold some value. I think you're gonna see that card sell well and hold a decent price point, right? Um, Second one up here, Nate, is the Dyadic Carapace rune blade equipment chest, not shadow rune blade, so it can be used by all the rune blades. So
Yep.
Viserai, Vincent, and Briar can use this until she LLs. No tech, just Arcane Barrier 2, no ability per se, but Temper 2 block is really good. Arcane Barrier 2 is really good. I think we talked about this on the live stream. You're right. It fulfills 2 cards. It fills 2 cards in a sideboard for Rune Blades. I think this card is very solid, and you'll see the value be, reflected in how solid this card is. If you're playing Rune Blade, you probably want this on your sideboard.
You didn't even talk about the best part, Ted.
What's that?
We just found out it comes in EA.
Oh yeah. Whew, boy. Yeah. Yeah. So
Woo.
it was shown off today by Covenant that it is cold foil EA is possible. It's in the set. So yep, I'm officially broke. I have no monies left because
Yeah.
I will have to buy that.
Yes. Please sub to Ted's Patreon so he can afford to buy the EA version of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And that, like, looking at like the dream, I half these I literally could not pronounce the rune blade chest piece. Sounds like Ted, you're gonna have to say that because I have no idea. I barely speak English. Um, the dream state bro lady.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Diatom of Dreamstate.
beautiful art.
Yeah.
Awesome. Terrible card. Just absolutely terrible card. But it has a woman on it.
Yeah.
And if we've learned anything, looking at you, Redback Shroud, if there's a woman on a piece of art on a legendary, it will have value access to what the card is actually playable for. This card is not
There's
playable.
there does seem to be a trend that way, Nate. But yeah, Ward 2 is tough, man. Um, just the fact, like I think we talked about this a couple times already, maybe just the fact that it can blow up on one unpreventable arcane damage. And this can blow up, and then if you have any other armor that has ward will blow up at the same time, and all your angels will blow up. It's like I don't know how you that's risky business. Um, but pay 1 to get a ponder token. Not like the effect is not terrible. It's just I think you're saying is might not see play right away just because of the fact how the ward mechanic works.
I I think the effect is actually insane. If this said no ward on it, I think this card would actually be incredibly good.
Yeah.
Like Prism has the ability to pay for things on her own turn, or pay for things on her opponent's turn and get the value out of these ponder tokens.
Hmm.
Like its card is actually incredibly strong, outside of the fact that it explodes the first time you get touched by another human being, um, which is kind of an issue
Yeah.
for any of the ward things.
Yeah.
I don't think it's very good, but there's a nice looking lady with a fro, so it will be worth a lot of money. Um,
Yeah. I don't know
it'll
about
be
a
worth
lot
more.
of money. It'll be probably
It'll be
worth
worth
more than it deserves.
fair.
More than it's
Um,
playable. Yeah.
and then we're gonna look at the cheapest card in the set, Soulbond Resolve. That card's
Yeah.
bad, but it does block too.
Yep.
But
So,
there's other cards that block too and have other text on them that are probably more relevant than this.
yeah. Temper 2. So that's solid for sure. But
Yeah. It
yeah, when
says
this defends, you can charge your hero soul. I mean, I guess.
and
If
it
you,
prevents the next 1 damage. So basically
yeah.
you can spend 1 card to prevent 1 damage.
Yeah.
I ain't sold.
Yeah, that's tough. Um, yeah, I don't know about this card. I think maybe there's something cooking out there, but yeah, that ain't it, dog. One card
Eh,
for 1 damage is not how fab math works.
that's okay. Like
Um,
every legendary can't be a banger, right?
yeah, yeah.
So
No, and
you
I
gotta
mean, I think the first two on this slide or on this scene is pretty like they're bangers, right?
yeah.
So like you said, not everyone can be a banger. The one thing I find interesting is that the Dyadic Carapace and Soulbond Resolve are temper. I put this out to Twitter. Actually, I tweeted out to Brian Gottlieb about this. It's like, so Battle Worn 2 is just dead forever, right? And he said, no, not forever. And I was like, and then the set came, and then we got spoilers, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't think I was going to see any Battle Worn here, but like, so the next
Nah,
card
it's
that's
different.
printed with Battle Worn 2, we'll be talking about it. I don't know what set that's coming in, but like, it would have to be, I think it'd almost have to be a new class. Like
I
necromancer
yeah.
only chest or arms or something, because I
It
don't
would
see them ever reprinting Battle Worn 2 on any class right now.
So the only class that doesn't have battle worn is assassin and illusionist
But
and
that's
ranger
like, yeah, but that's like I would say
and
that's like
wizard.
their core. That's like they don't they don't get that, to put it bluntly.
Assassin kind of gets to buy it back, so it's almost like better battle worn too.
Right,
But yeah,
yeah.
like that's kind of like to their mechanics. Like they just don't have like this like stonky equipment. So like I'm trying to think
Illusionists
of like
just can't have stonky equipment because they have permanents that you have to kill instead of killing them, right? So
yep,
if they ever got like big armor pieces, it would just be busted.
yeah,
So,
yeah, agreed.
but yeah, he said
Interesting.
never say never. So maybe someday we'll see it again.
Yep.
But
Catch you
I'm
on the
not
flippy floppy, Brian.
yeah, I'm not holding my breath. All right, let's jump over to the other four.
The bangers.
Yeah, I don't know about. There's one that I would argue might not be as banger as you think, but so Imperium Rapture. This is the Light Illusionist chess piece.
Yep.
If a card with Herald in its name has been put into your soul during your turn, the first hero ability you activate costs 2 less. Pretty solid. Pay 1 and it gets Ward 1. I don't think Ward 1 is risky, so you probably won't be paying for that. But
Yeah.
the text above that's pretty solid, I think.
At least it says it's not always Ward 1. I do like I wish they printed this on the headpiece because that would actually be like really good for that headpiece.
Yeah.
Like that's like really interesting design space, and like I think utilizing the like pay then get word on that headpiece would be really skill testing. That would be like one of the most skill testing parts of like playing this like ward based illusionist, but
Yep.
instead it just blows up the first time you get touched. I don't know if this card's good. I think it might be bad. But
It helps her cost curve, right? So, But I honestly I haven't looked at Prism at all.
It's I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not 100% sold. Like I don't know if it's Vestige or this or Tunic. But there's an EA version.
that EA version.
Listen, nice looking lady on it. People are gonna
I
pay money
mean,
for it, even if it's bad. Looking at you, Redback Shroud.
the art is just amazing though. Like all aside, you know,
Yeah,
um,
art is.
art is good. Yes.
Yep,
So yeah, we'll have to wait and see on this one. I think it will be, it will hold some value for sure.
yep. Listen,
'Cause I think,
there's one thing that this set is gonna accomplish, and guess what, Illusionist fans? J Dubs is coming for your wallet
yeah,
and your home,
yeah,
everything.
yeah,
Like he's
yeah.
coming for all of it with this
Dust,
set.
Dust Till Dawn, aka Prism expansion. Yeah, this Prism dot set.
It's not even a Prism expansion. I don't even think the Prism.
She got a lot of stuff in this. She got a
She
lot of
only got
bling, I guess, is what
all
I'm
she got
hinting
was
at.
bling. It literally is. It's a
Yeah.
Prism financed expansion. All right, it's all the waifus financing the expansion for like interesting, unique cards, like
Yeah.
the next three cards we're about to talk about. Like
Yeah.
Prism got like literally maybe 10 cards in the whole set,
Yeah.
like
It's
12.
kind of nuts.
Did not get a whole. She got a new hero, and that was it. And then like it's just come on, waifus, you're financing all this for everybody else.
Right.
Um, so then we can talk about Scowling Flashback.
Yeah.
LSS, you made a mistake.
This
Listen,
card, we again, the live stream, I think we probably spent longer than we should have on this card, but we're doubling back if you didn't see the stream.
yeah,
This card is busted, I think. This
y'all
card's
gave
like
Brute a stalagmite.
yeah, this is stalagmite.
Y'all gave Brute a stalagmite, but better.
Yeah, this is
Insane.
yeah, yeah, stalagmite, but instead of just a one resource tax, it's at random pull a card from hand.
Hmm,
It's like
hmm. Oh, you got a Channel Mount Heroic Turnbriar? That's adorable. Be a shame if I just took a random card out of your hand right now.
yeah.
Oh, did I get your only attack? Looks like you only attacked me one time. Sucks to suck, I guess.
Yeah, this is gross.
Yep.
Like Lexi, any kind of like three of a kind turn, Rain Razor turn. Like you're talking the value is intense at that point, right? You rip a bolt and shot from her hand, you rip an arrow, any arrow actually, and it's just like stonks.
It kind of depends on what you get because Lexi can respond with Voltaire,
Oh, she can load,
but
yeah.
like let's say they have a ponder token. Anyone who can generate any type of ponder tokens and then they're like looking to maybe do a couple other things. It's like, okay, you're gonna draw a card and you're gonna have a card left over. So you're essentially like IP penaltying yourself, or like you're wasting your ponder. So like
Yeah.
you can generate a lot of value out of this card. I think it's just really good headpiece, and it's the thing that like kind of challenges Crown's dominance for brutes now.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think it's absolute banger. Great
Yeah.
job, LSS. Thank you for printing something good for Brute. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. No, this card's really good.
All right, Levia.
Levia redeemed. This one, I don't think we agree on this one.
Absolute banger.
I agree that it is a great card. I love the design space. But as a legendary, I fear this one might be like we'll see it. Again, I'm not going to put prices to anything or any kind of estimates, but I think this will float to the lower end. I think it will start out expensive and then float down, just because there's only so many Levia fans. I think I almost
Ted.
pre-show notes we were talking about this. I'm struggling to find a comparison, and I know this one is not very apt, but the Emperor, it gives me a little bit of Emperor vibes, but
No
like
one
hold
plays
on.
Blitz,
Yeah, okay, so that's the
and Emperor
problem,
is
is that
bad.
no one plays Blitz, and yeah, so it's not a quite a fair comparison, but like you're just not going to have as many people going after this card, I don't think, right? Because you specifically have to be playing Levia to want this card.
I mean, you got pretty creepy lady on this card. Just don't flip it over because that thing is scary.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah. Nightmare
listen,
fuel.
if if my logic is if we're continuing down my logic path of put pretty lady on card, card worth money, like this one's kind of there. It's like pretty creepy lady. And I would argue in card gaming, there's probably more people who like the pretty creepy lady than just the pretty lady.
Yeah,
Like,
she definitely gives like Kerrigan, StarCraft 2 vibes,
oh, dude, I didn't
StarCraft
even think
vibes.
about that.
Yeah, I think
All
there
right.
was some very inspired. It feels inspired to me by Zerg Queen Kerrigan,
Now that you
um,
say it, 100%.
which is cool. And yeah, I just this card's very interesting to me. Let me put it that way. I maybe I'll retract a little bit and say I don't know where this is going.
I think
Um,
Levia is going to be a good deck, and I think that this is a auto. It's a must to play Levia because otherwise you can just sometimes randomly explode. So,
oh yeah,
uh,
yeah. This if you're playing Leviat, you're buying this
yeah, yep.
you're buying this card.
So great, we're in agreement. Great card, irreplaceable, which I think is the reason why I think it will be one of the more valuable cards in the set because it's irreplaceable.
Yeah, if she's a
Like
meta contender, then this card is expensive.
you talk about all the other cards on this list, there's replacement options for them.
True.
This card has no replacement. Um, Now, Iron Song response, or Iron Song verse. This card's correct. Welcome to Lapped Town, Brave Forge Bracers, because you just
Yeah,
hopped on it.
yeah,
This
yeah,
card's great, insane. Play both Bolton and Dory want to run this over Brave Forge Bracers, most likely.
yeah,
I think there's probably maybe some Dory builds who might still want to run Bracers, but like, correct. Great
yeah.
card. Great art.
Ooh,
Please
man,
tell
this
me there's
art.
like an EA of this because that would be insane money. Like
Yeah,
Dory on the card art already, just like all the monies, and
yeah.
then you give it an EA treatment. Woo!
I think that this is an yeah. Talking on the art, how this card looks. This is an interesting card to me because it almost. I don't know if there's art like anywhere like this in the game. This is like photorealistic almost, which seems. I mean, maybe there's a card out there that I'm not thinking of right now, but yeah, this card, man, holy smokes! Warrior armor in this style of art, like a whole suite. Like that would be that would be sick.
All right, Ted, I'm gonna put you on the spot. What do you think the highest value majestic or legendary is gonna be
Mm.
of this set? Not prices, just like what do you think will be cream of the crop? You open it, you've opened the most valuable legendary, and you can trade for any of the other ones.
Oh, that's I'm trying to think. What was the other the other four? I don't think it's in the other four. I hope it's not Crown of Providence. I could see it being Crown of Providence. Um, but I do yeah, I think it's actually gonna be Crown of Providence.
Okay,
Short term. Yeah.
you're going crown.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think that's a good call.
Yeah. The rest of them are very like you said, they like it can't be Scowling Flashback because there's just not an it's brute only. It can't be the Carapace because that's Runeblade only. I think it's yeah, maybe that's a cop out, but the generic is probably the one that you're gonna be.
All right, minus crown then. What's the highest one?
Um I think the second highest one will be like we're talking rainbow foils.
Yep,
I think
rainbow
it's gonna be
foil.
Scowling Flashback.
Okay.
I think
I'm
brute
gonna go.
players are gonna be all over that.
Oh yeah, yeah, we will. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going Carapace.
Really?
Mhm. I think all three classes. I think it's available for three heroes, and I think they'll all want it. So I think that it's between that or Iron Song. But I think Iron Song has a good enough replacement in
Yeah.
Brave Forge Racers that will kind of cap its price a little bit.
Also, if you're playing Briar in this day and age, Godspeed, my friend. Godspeed. That that poor lady is unplayable. And the ban and restricted did nothing to help her.
Yeah, it'll be fine. She'll be fine.
All right, Nate. So yeah, that concludes what we think of the legendaries. Kind of a rehash of our live stream a bit, but we got some new information with Crown of Providence popping up. Very cool. I think that's a great, as mentioned, that is a great addition to this set. I know locals of mine always had some. Always, there's been a lot of heartburn, let's say, from locals and people I talked to about Crown of Providence. So it's good to see that. I don't want to even call it an issue, but that kind of being resolved,
Yeah.
and get those cards out to people that want to play the game, and not break the bank.
Yeah. Thanks, LSS, for making legendaries great again. We went to Outsiders where they were not very great, and you
Hmm.
came back and just went, here's a banger, here's a banger, here's a banger.
Yeah,
You were like Oprah of banger legendaries. So,
yeah,
from the bottom of my heart,
Brute.
thank you, LSS.
Yeah, Brute,
Sorry for
Brute
yelling at the mic.
legendary. Yeah, Brute
Yeah.
legendary, awesome. Yeah,
Yep.
there's some good ones in here. The Runeblade Carapace, again, like I said, I not a huge fan of just AB2, but I understand why that card was printed. It's very solid. It's a great card just to put in Runeblade decks for sure.
Great slot in. EA looks amazing. Head's wallet is going to get juiced as HE double hockey sticks.
Yeah, I've had to readjust. I wanted to collect some of the Marvel Angels, but now I have Runeblade stuff to buy, so that comes first.
Yes, always. The rune blades
Yes.
always come first.
All right.
Well,
All right, Nate. Well, I think that's going to do it. As always, thank you everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit the bell so that you get a notice when we're going live or when new episodes are dropping. It all helps. Leave some comments what you think about our takes on these legendaries.
yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks for the support and watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Peace.
Peace.